Hi, I'm Miriam and welcome back to my channel. By the title, it does sound like I was like an infant back in 2016, but I was not. I was a teenager, I knew the trends, I had makeup, I was just a very stubborn teenager, so I didn't want to do what everybody else was doing. Therefore, I have titled it Doing 2016 Makeup Accurately for the very first time. So I'm going to make a 2016 inspired makeup with the makeup I already have. So I'm going to make it as accurate as possible. So it might not be 100% because some of the things maybe got released later, but the gist is basically how it was done. This is my attempt of making space buns. I have a lot of layers, so it's kind of tricky, but I think they turn out kind of okay. I mean, the braid is better here than here, but I think it gives the 2016 vibe. Anyways, without further ado, let's go. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna base a lot of this off my memory, and it's probably gonna be a little over exaggerated, but it's not just the fun of things. I do, however, have one very important, very accurate product for this, and that is the Anastasia Beverly Hills Dip Brow. The chokehold this has had on me for years. This is not an original from 2016. I think I purchased this like last year, 2 years ago or something. Because I was looking at old pictures and I was like, oh, I miss my brows. And then I discovered I don't. I'm very happy with the way I do them now. But back then, I really liked it, and I wore this years after it was trendy. I think it was up to like 2020 where I started doing something else with my brows. But now I use it for freckles, so if you want to do something with it, that's my advice. So I'm going to start this makeup look with the eyebrows, actually. Do I specifically remember the order of things? Not really. I'm going to take a lot of product. I did also have the brush that comes with it, but it's got lost in time. And this is what I have. So I always started at my tail even back then because the product is so dark when you first apply it. And like it was even trendy back then to have the beginning of your brow a little more open. This is normally how I would do it. Like even just this is like giving 2016. 2016 was actually a pretty good year for me. That's the year I started high school, and high school in my country is from like your 11th year to your 13th year. So I was 16 when I started high school, which is pretty normal where I'm from. Either you're 15 or you're 16, depending on when in the year you were born. I think brow glue was also a thing, but I didn't use it. I didn't figure out how to use it until later. So we're just gonna skip it because I feel like brow glue became more important later. But something that was very important is carving out the brows. So I'm gonna use my concealer to carve out my brows before I go in with my foundation to then add more concealer. It just sounds logical in my head to do it that way. And if I were to do it back then, that's probably the way I would do it. Just gonna carve all the way around with my concealer. And then I'm using a flat brush to like, you know, to like soften all my concealer out. I don't know how to explain it, but we can't just leave it like this. I guess what I'm trying to say is I'm gonna use my concealer to help carve it out. I think this might be a tiny bit over exaggerated, but that's okay. I think we always remember things a bit over exaggerated. Then we're going in with foundation. So we're just gonna go right in. And of course, we have to blend it all out with the Beauty Blender. I think this was your debut era. I think I added enough foundation for this actually. Maybe this is why it's not a very efficient way to put on your foundation. And now we're going in with the concealer again, and we're gonna make the famous triangle. Which triangle? This triangle. think it was like this. It was just a lot of concealer in here. I don't remember who came up with it, but it was the way to go. I tell you that. Then back in with the Beauty Blender. Now, if I remember correctly, cream products weren't that in at the time because we were all about that matte finish. Everything was very matte. So I am not going in with the cream contour, but I'm gonna be baking my face, and then I'm gonna do my eyes, and then we're gonna put on the bronzer or contour. Okay, because contour was like a new thing. Okay, this is something I've actually never done because I thought it was weird back then. And so I never did it. But I'm going to be baking my face with setting powder and a powder puff. I'm going to dunk it. And then it's like, because like I need to have a lot. And then I'm just going to drag it, I think. It was also very common to have it underneath. Okay. Since I was already holding this Huda Beauty palette as a mirror, and Huda Beauty palettes have always been pretty iconic, I'm just going to be using this today. And for the color, I think I'm going in with Tease. I think Tease is a good 2016. So we're going to make a cut crease. So I'm using this type of fluffy brush, and I'm just going over it in my crease area, following the tail as well, like this, using this shade here called Secret as a lighter shadow to blend it. Then I'm back with my flat brush, and I'm back with my concealer, and we are now going to carve out the crease. A lot of carving. Getting some from my brush. I think the trick was to like just look straight ahead, and then you find the mark from where you should cut and just make a line from that. And also like start filling it in. And you end up with something like this. So I'm gonna use this tone here called Bear. Get a little base on my shadow so that you can actually see the cut crease part of my cut crease. Today I actually got myself a new eyeliner. So I have the Epic Wear Liner from NYX. I've had it in other colors, and I'm really impressed with how the pigment is. And I was like, why don't I just get myself one in black? Now these things stay very, very well on your face, so they're a hassle to get off. So make sure you have a good makeup remover if you want to buy one. We're gonna make a winged liner. Just gonna make my regular winged eyeliner. I remember it was around this time I started learning how to do eyeliner, and I remember using tape to get the line sharp. And like, I wouldn't say it becomes sharp all the time now, but then again, I feel like it turns out okay, so it's fine. It's baked enough. Using a big brush to get it all out. We want the matte finish. Matte. And now we're gonna do the contour. I have the Anastasia contour powder kit. It's a little broken, but I am gonna be using this shade right here. So this was the time people didn't quite know how to use contour, so we're just gonna do something. Adding a bit in the forehead area, obviously. Some on our cheeks. If it looks patchy, that's part of the charm. To mock it, this is legit how people would walk around. Some on the chin. And do we add blush? No. Blush is not allowed. People were scared of blushes. At least where I grew up. We need some highlighter, and the only highlighter I have is the Fenty Beauty one. So we are gonna use that. And we are gonna use the highlighter for everything. Ooh. I rarely use highlighter now because I feel like it's such a, I don't know, it's such a glam thing. Like whenever I'm getting ready for something, like an event or like Christmas or anything, that's when I use my highlight. But ooh. Okay, if we were to use blush, we would just use a little bit of blush. Because I remember there being a meme that girls would look like tricolor ice cream. So we can add just the tiniest amount in between here. Mascara is of course mandatory for this. What I have on me right now is the Sky High one, which was popular during 2020. The reason I didn't want to invest in all the popular products at the time is majorly because people were using a lot of different things, because like it's in a one size fits all type, so I just wanted to do it the way we did and not think about what we used. For my lips, I'm going in with this NYX Soft Brown Lip Liner and this Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk lipstick, because I think this is one of the mattest lipstick I own and it makes my lips really dry. So no bold lip today, but a dry lip for sure. You remember those liquid lipsticks who would just like dry up your lips completely? I rarely use this because I don't like the feeling of it. This looks pretty accurate. Okay, hold on. Let me get my outfit and I'll be right back. Oh, but first we gotta use some setting spray. Hello. Okay, the most 2016 I could find was this very see-through top. That's the wrinkliest man who ever lived. And I have to wear this tank top underneath. But I also have a choker. And this has a butterfly on it. I don't know if that's very 2016. But the choker thing is for sure. I think they're very pretty. Maybe I should wear them more. I mean, I'm going to a Five Sauce concert this year. Maybe I bring back the choker. I don't know. I need to figure out what kind of outfit I want for that concert for sure. Did I do it? Ha! So this is my 2016 look. I feel like a teenager, or like whatever I saw on the internet. Here's some pictures of me from 2016. And yeah, if you like this, give it a like. If you really like this, consider subscribing and check out my other videos. And let me know what you think. Did I do a good job? I think it looks very accurate. Even have some imperfections of the contour and such, which I feel like is very on brand. This outfit did actually turn out kinda okay-ish for 2016. Like, it's kinda giving. I know it's not the best, but this best I can do. And yeah, I hope to see you again. Okay, bye.